Morning students. Today we are going to study lesson number 4, Economic Development Part 2. Refer to page number 16. We have already studied a 5-year plan, that is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh 5-year plan. Now let us study 8th 5-year plan, which was when started from 1992 to 1997. The main objective of this plan was to maintain the rate of the growth in national income at 6.5%, to control the growth of the population and encourage the program of family planning. Then to remove illiteracy by giving primary education. To achieve these goals, the following programs was been started. Pradhan Mantri रोजगार योजना, महिला समृद्धि योजना, राष्ट्रीय सामाजिक आर्थिक सहाय्य योजना, मिड डे मील स्कीम, इंदिरा महिला scheme and Ganga Kalyan scheme. Now, the 8th 5-year plan gave the importance to the public sector. Here, free market policy was been adopted in 1991 when globalization took place. Now let us learn about 9th 5-year plan that started from 1997 to 2002. It focused on agriculture and rural development. Now what were the objectives of this plan? To increase the rate of the growth of the economy, create a healthy competition in the infrastructure sector. Infrastructure means what? A system of development of the public works in a state, country or a region, for example the roads, buildings and all. Then giving a new direction to the industrial policy for ensuring foreign investment. Now to achieve these goals, following schemes were been started. स्वर्ण जयंती सहारी रोजगार योजना, भाग्यश्री चाइल्ड वेलफेयर पॉलिसी, राजराजेश्वरी महिला कल्याण योजना, स्वर्ण जयंती ग्राम स्वरोजगार योजना, जवाहर ग्राम समृद्धि योजना, अनंतोदय अन्न योजना, प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना, etc. Now let us learn about the nationalizations of the banks. When our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister during that time, and Lal Bahadur Shastri, at that time what happened, the bank was in the hands of the private sectors. Now these banks represented different industrial groups and they were working only for profit purpose. In order to stop this, what happened, the government decided that we will nationalize the Imperial Bank in 1955 and they got it converted into the State Bank of India, so that whatever the monies were being deposited or the profit will go to the government and they could use for the development of the country. Slowly this bank, what happened, it opened several branches all over the country and it played a major role in the country's development. Now let us understand the background of the nationalization. Now as we know that India adopted mixed economy after independence. Then nationalization bank was very important because they had to recover the losses which was been implemented by the different schemes. So the profit of these banks would go to the government treasury and they could use it for the developing small industries and pharmaceutical industries. Lal Bahadur Shastri also took the experiment of green revolution in order to overcome food shortage and drought conditions. At that time, our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi started a Congress Forum for Socialist Action, a group in the Congress Party. It was been inspired by the socialist ideas and they demanded for the nationalization of the commercial banks. They got the support of the Communist Party also. Now let us learn 20-point program which was been announced by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi on 1st July 1975. For what? For having a rapid development of our nation. Now what goals come, what objectives are of this 20-point program? The main provisions of the 20-point program were as follows: that land ceilings means land was being distributed properly for the cities and the agriculture land, then equal division of wealth, then minimum wages should decision was being taken for the workers, then increase in water conservation, water should be saved, then workers participation should be there in industries, then national training scheme, then freeing bonded labor means what? A worker would work for one only owner and he would not get any salary and all, and 24 hours he had to work under him. Then prevention of tax evasion, then economic crisis and smugglings, then regulation of the prices of the basic necessities, then improvement in the public distribution system, then improvement in the textile industries by developing the handloom sector also, then waiving loans for the weaker sections. Waiving loans means what? To drop out the loans of the weaker sections, they did not have to pay these loans. Then housing and communication facilities and making educational equipment available to the schools. These were the main objectives of the 20-point program. Now let us learn about the issues of the workers related to the textile mills. Now, as we know, the first textile mill was started in Mumbai on 11 July 1851. By whom? By Kawasji Dawar. Slowly, the mill started in Dadar, Paral, Bhaikala, Shivdi, Prabha Devi and Worli, and this place was called as the Girangaon or the town of mills. But what happened in 1980s? There was a unrest or the workers were unsatisfied due to the conditions in the other sectors. In some of the industries, what happened? The wages of the workers were increasing, but in textiles they were not getting anything, and in other industries they were getting a good amount of bonus, and they were getting more facilities than the textile mill workers. Now in Diwali in 1981, the workers they expected a bonus of 20%, but the Rashtriya Mill Mazdoor Sangha, which was they were negotiating, means they were having an agreement with the employees, they agreed only up to 8 to 17% bonus without taking the workers into the confidence. So there was a cut in the bonus which the workers were very unhappy about it. Therefore what happened? They went to Dr. Datta Samant. They asked him to take the leadership. Therefore, the workers of 65 mill workers they came together, and the strike was being led by Dr. Datta Samant. Then on 18 January 1982, 2.5 lakh workers they went on strike. The Girgaon mills it stopped to run, and it felt as if that Mumbai has come to a full standstill. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, then Barrister A.R. Anuntale, they set up a committee to solve the problems of the workers. Later, Baba Saheb Bhosle, he also became the Chief Minister of Maharashtra state. So he insisted, or he said that he would talk only with the Rashtriya Mill Mazdoor Sangha. Dr. Datta Samant, he demanded that the law should be cancelled. In the beginning, the workers they got help from their native villages, but it was very difficult for them to help each other. For some time, they set up department committees and they distributed food grains and assistance in the form of the funds, etc. The left parties had supported the strike also, but what happened? The strike was being continued. It completed 6 months. The central government they completely ignored this issue. Then the workers what they did, they started a jail bharo agitation. In September 1982, 1.5 lakh workers they marched to Legislative Assembly of the Maharashtra state, but this all did not help them at all. The government did not pay heed to their problems. The strike had completed nearly 1 year and it was going further. Now in this period, about 1.5 lakh workers they became unemployed. During that time only, a major change took place, as polyester was a great demand than cotton cloth. Therefore the sale of the milk cloth was already affected. And the other thing what happened, the mills they moved from Mumbai to Surat in Gujarat. Therefore, then the central government, what they did, they nationalized 13 textile mills and they appointed arbiters. Arbiters means lawyers to solve this particular issue, but it did not work out. The strike of the textile mills workers was a failure for it. Now, let us learn what is new economic policy of 1991. Now, why? What were the factors which led to new economic policy? Now, at that time, in the year 1991, after the 10th election, general election, P.V. Narasimha Rao, he came and became the Prime Minister of India. And at that time, he appointed Dr. Manmohan Singh as a Finance Minister. So, as a finance minister, Manmohan Singh took the major steps to bring up the Indian economy. Now, what were the factors which led to the new economic policy? The rate of inflation was 17%. The economic growth rate had gone down by 1.1%. Our foreign exchange reserves were also not very enough. It lasted only for a week's import, and it was very difficult to pay loans, foreign loans, and the interest on it. The liability over 10,000 crore rupees on loan waived given by the BP Singh government, means the loans were not to be paid by the common people, so that also became a debt for the country. Proportionally of internal loans of central and state governments together, it cost around 55% of the gross domestic product. Then foreign loans also, it increased from 1980-81. The foreign loan was 2,350 crores dollars. Then later on till 1990-91, it increased to 8,380 crore dollars. Then at that time, the oil prices increased due to the invasion or attack of Kuwait by the Iraq, and non-resident Indians also started to withdraw their deposit from the foreign currency from India. So we were in a very bad conditions. Therefore, Manmohan Singh, as a finance minister, he took many corrective steps. Now, what steps did he take? He removed restrictions on the foreign investment and restricted license systems to only 18 industries. Then he opened up the public sector for the private industries. Then he regulated share market by establishing SEBI in 1992 and computerized the National Stock Exchange. He gave priority to remove the recession that had fallen in our country. Then because of it, what happened, foreign investment started to increase. Then India was able to recover the gold mortgage with the Bank of England. Then they got the support of the capitalists, means the owners, as well as the middle class people. Then he opened a telecom sector which started the phone services in the whole country. Dr. Manmohan Singh also signed the agreement with the World Trade Organization and launched the policy of privatization, liberalization, and globalization. Now, let us learn about the World Trade Organization. Now, in 1995, India became the member of the World Trade Organization. Now, what objectives did this organization have? To have free trade between the countries, to put an end to all the discriminatory laws, then restrictions, then rules and policies that were hurdles, or that was a barrier in the way of the international free trade, and to regulate the global trade with the help of multi-party mechanism. General agreement in tariffs and trade existed prior to the establishment of the World Trade Organization. So what it was doing, it was regulating the commerce. Right now, there was a rapid progress in the electricity, water, transportation, education, and health after India became the member of the World Trade. Initially in India, many of the people opposed the agreement with World Trade Organization, yet India decided to become the member of it. Now, the provisions of this World Trade Organization was regarding grant, import, export, foreign investment, and agriculture, technology, and services. Now sectors of electricity, water, transportation, education and health, it started rapidly to be commercialized, means it started to develop in India, became the member of the World Trade Organization. Now India made a very good improvement or considerable improvement in the different areas, like it reduced the poverty line population, then decline in the infant mortality rate, means small children they started to survive a lot. Then availability of the drinking water and wastewater management took place. Then India also signed the South Asian Preferential Trade Agreement, that is SAPTA, along with the lines of the World Trade Organization. Then it removed many restrictions on import of several commodities. Then SAARC countries also. Then India also gave discount on the import duties. India also opened up the insurance sectors to the private and the foreign investment. In this way, what happened, we, we made a lot of development of the new economic policy, and it helped our country to develop at a faster rate. Now we have learned about the mixed economy to globalization in this chapter. In the next chapter we will understand that India's progress in other fields. Now we have learned about the 8th 5-year plan, 9th 5-year plan. Then we understood the nationalizations of the banks. Then 20-point program started by Indira Gandhi, our Prime Minister. Then you have learned about the issues of the workers. Then you understood the new economic policy, why it was been adopted, and the remedies, means what steps were being taken to adopt this new economic policy. Then we have learned about the World Trade Organization. I hope you must have understood this lesson. If you have any doubt or any query, kindly contact. Thank you.